What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. This is going to be a quiet review because it's very late. I'm trying not to wake anyone, but I wanted to bring you guys this hopefully very quick review on fragrances from Oil Perfumery. They are a fragrance company based out of Canada, I believe maybe Toronto. And they reached out to me and they said they wanted to sponsor a video. So they are the sponsor of this video. We're going to be talking about fragrances that they sent me. What they do is they create oils based and inspired by popular niche and designer fragrances, and they also create oils that are more in the line of traditional Middle Eastern scents. Now, I did a video like this in the past with Zohar Aroma, and again, like I said in my previous video, I'll be doing another video on them and their products. I'm assuming they're supposed to be arriving soon. They told me they would send them, but I haven't seen anything yet. We'll see. But today we're talking about Oil Perfumery. So let's dive right into it. We have a lot of fragrances to get into. I think there's 16 here. So I'm just going to share a very quick and brief blurb about each fragrance as we go. So up first, we got this one. Let's get this out of the way. Aventus. Now, what I gotta say about this one. This is impressive. What this smells like is a fruity batch of Aventus, as if it were drying down into the heart. That's where the fragrance begins. You get that fruity and woody nature, kind of green and mossy, you know, the sheeper aspect of it, but that vanillic nature is already present when you first put it on. This is really impressive. I put this on and it smells great. That's all I'm gonna say. It smells like Aventus, and that's what it is. Next one up, I talked about this in my previous fragrances of the week video. This is Sauvage, inspired by Dior Sauvage, and again, this smells just like it. This is basically Sauvage. Now, I actually don't really like this one. Reason is because I'm not crazy about Sauvage. I love Sauvage on the first spray, I gotta say. When you first spray it on and when you first detect it in the air, it is captivating. I just cannot stress that enough. I cannot deny it. It is captivating. But after about 30 minutes to an hour, it just persists and it does not change at all. It's so linear, and I just can't deal with it after that point. So that's why I don't have Sauvage anymore, and that's why I'm not crazy about this scent. However, I do appreciate that they got it spot on. Everything about it is Sauvage. So if you're looking for a great Sauvage oil, check this out. Up next, this is one of their traditional Middle Eastern inspired fragrances. This is inspired by a Swiss Arabian fragrance. Swiss Arabian is a very popular Middle Eastern house. I think they were founded in like the 70s and they're still around. I did a video on some of their fragrances a while back. And this is based on their fragrance called Fawake. I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but that translates to fruit, if I'm not mistaken. And this fragrance is super fruity. There's actually no note breakdown that I could find. It's just super fruit explosion. There's a ton of different fruits in there. What I mainly get is fig, maybe a little bit of apricot. It's fruity and floral for sure. Kind of piercing, kind of bitter in a way, but also again very juicy and fruity and sweet, a little syrupy, even kind of tropical. And this one is not for me. I can appreciate it just because it's so succulent, but I cannot wear this. It would just be too much for me. But if you like fruity scents, this is one to check out. That's Fawake. Up next is a fragrance inspired by a Guerlain fragrance that I've actually never heard of. Neroli Outrenoir. This is super soapy and heady Neroli. It's very white floral, heavy, kind of indolic, a little earthy, but again kind of soapy and clean. It's pleasant, but you gotta love Neroli. And after wearing this for a period of time, I started to realize it's just not for me. I just didn't find it pleasant as it dried down, and it becomes more musky and woody and more indolic as it dries down. And I have not smelled the original, but I don't know, I would imagine that they got pretty close with this, but I can't speak for that. That's Neroli Outrenoir. Super heavy Neroli scent if you like that kind of stuff. Up next is from the House of Creed. This is their impression of Pure White Cologne. And I have smelled Pure White Cologne in stores, and I don't even really know what to say about it because I put it on paper and I couldn't really smell anything. It's so light. It was so light, at least on the paper, that I could not even tell you what it smelled like. Kind of airy and maybe kind of sweet and floral, but that's all I could really get from it. And this is the oil version, so it is a bit more dense and therefore a bit more present. So there's a prominent pear note in here with neroli and musk. That's mainly what I get. Kind of sweet, not very fruity, but again, a little sweet. Get that floral nature, that white floral nature, and it's musky. And it's nice, it's pleasant, but it's a little bit uninspiring for me. I'm not crazy about this one. So that's pure white cologne. Next is their impression of one of my favorites from the House of Creed. This is Vetiver Geranium. And I requested this one solely because I wanted to compare it to the original. And this is another one that they nailed. They knocked it out of the park. You get that slightly powdery and minty geranium coated in that sweet and juicy apple, and you got that woody vetiver. And the base is a little bit of spice from cinnamon. There's a couple other things in there, and again, they nailed this one. This smells just like Vetiver Geranium. As I put it on skin, it's maybe a little bit more green than Vetiver Geranium, but still basically the scent. So that's Vetiver Geranium. Okay, this one is inspired by yet another Swiss Arabian fragrance, simply called Patchouli. And what does this smell like? It smells like the earthy plant that comes from the mint family, which is patchouli. And if you don't know what that smells like, again, it's kind of minty, but it's very dirty and earthy. And it's a wonderful ingredient when used in perfumery. It can really bring sensuality to a scent, but by itself, it's a little difficult. It's challenging. And I got this simply because I wanted it for reference. It's very straightforward. It smells like patchouli, doesn't really change. Look at the color of this juice, and it's super thick oil. Yeah, this is some heavy stuff. Surprisingly, it wears kind of soft on the skin, at least when I put it on my hand, but it'll probably last for days. I mean, it's so dark and so thick. That's patchouli. If you like patchouli, you'll love this. Up next, from the house of Joop, or Joop, whatever you want to call it. This is their impression of Joop Homme. Joop Homme. And this stuff simply smells great. And it smells exactly like the original. You get that kind of powdery, fresh, slightly sweet, very aromatic, and you got kind of this vanillic creaminess. It's really nice. I love it. I can't say I don't like it. It's really, really good. Definitely reminiscent of original Santal from Creed and Mont Blanc Individuel. It's good stuff. So that's Joop Homme. Next is another popular one. Impression of Paco Rabanne's 1 million. And this is 1 million. They knocked this out of the park. You got that citrus up top. It's a little spicy, but very sweet. Super ambery and sweet and loud. And if you like 1 million, then you're gonna love this. This is 1 million, kind of on steroids because it's thick as an oil and it's gonna last forever. So that's 1 million. Next, a fragrance that I've always wanted to get a bottle of, but I've been hesitating to do so. Straight to Heaven. Their impression of Straight to Heaven from Kilian. And man, this is a great example of how patchouli can augment a fragrance. What I get out of this: dried fruits, rum, patchouli, and I think some woods. There's a lot of cedar wood in here. Oh, this is such an intoxicating blend. I've always loved it from the Kilian line, but it's expensive. I just never pulled the trigger. This smells just like it, and it has great performance. So I'm happy to have this one. This is Straight to Heaven. One to check out. If you love Straight to Heaven, check this out. Here's yet another one that I am crazy about. I'm already taking it off because I want to smell it first. From Maison Francis Kurkdjian, this is Grand Soir. And once again, Grand Soir is a fragrance I've wanted, I've loved it, and I've been hesitating pulling the trigger because it's expensive, and I just haven't really had the money to spend on that. But now, yet again, I don't know if I need to, because this smells just like it. You get that very kind of transparent and ambery, sweet, rich and resinous natures. Just so elegant. And it's actually a little bit stronger, in my opinion, than the original. So if you're looking for better performance out of Grand Soir, even though Grand Soir is not really a slouch in terms of performance, you can check this out. Now, the next one up from Acqua de Parma, this is Colonia Leather. And this is a fragrance that I have smelled the original version of in stores. I don't completely remember what it smelled like, but I do remember really liking it. And I gotta say that from what I do remember, this is very, very close. In that vein of Tom Ford Tuscan Leather and Godolphin from Parfums de Marly, it's that sweet leather. It's kind of like a sweet, fruity, but kind of rich and almost dirty leather, but very luxurious. Very elegant. I like it. It's a great leather scent, and leather is something I'm trying to wear more of. Definitely not here in the summertime, but as we get back into the fall later on this year, gonna pull this one out for elegant occasions. Up next is an impression of a fragrance from the house of, I can't even say this right, Anfasic Dokhoon. Shay Rose is what it's called. I've never heard of this original house, Anfasic Dokhoon. Again, probably saying that wrong, so I apologize. This is a beautiful rose scent. Now, this is a scent that it's kind of in the middle for me. It's like, if you don't really like rose at all, then you'll like fragrances like Le Labo Rose 31, or even like Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme Ultime. Those scents that have rose that are not super present out in the front, but they are an integral part of the composition. And then you have fragrances like Atelier Cologne Rose Anonyme. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but here's the bottle. You can see what it says. Fragrances like Lyric Man from Amouage. You know, those are super heavy rose in your face, and there's plenty more that I'm not mentioning, but this one sits right in the middle for me. The rose is there, but it is very much accompanied by a lot of other wonderful notes that are in the front, like violet and even oud, and oud is actually helping to keep this thing from getting too rosy. It's powdery, it's a little sweet, a little watery perhaps from the violet, and very grounded from that oud. Just so elegant. A watery rose with woods. That's what I get. Very, very nice scent. And I'm trying to get more into this stuff, into rose scents that are super elegant and very balanced like this. So I'm going to be giving this some wearings. If you're looking for something like this, check out Shay Rose. All right, up next is another fragrance inspired by a Swiss Arabian fragrance. This one is called Rabanne. And I really like this one too. You get some grapefruit up top. It's citrusy and zingy, but it is not all by itself when it first comes out. It's accompanied by some sweetness. And because this is an oil, I believe that as a result, the citrus actually lasts a lot longer in the scent than it maybe would in a regular eau de toilette or eau de parfum. The citrus lingers for a lot longer. You also get quite a bit of lotus flower in this, so it does carry this watery nature. That's what lotus flower can bring. And it also has quite a bit of oud, which is agarwood more specifically, and something that they're calling gray amber, which might be some kind of synthetic form of ambergris. Either way, it comes off as sweet and musky, a little oudy, but not too much, and again, watery. Beautiful scent, very unisex, so you gotta like these kind of sweeter floral scents, but again, it does have that oudy backbone. So it sits right in the middle for me. A great scent if you're looking to venture into kind of oud floral territory. Next one, let me just show you this. It's almost black. This is called Pure Cambodi Oud. And this is inspired by an Arabian oud fragrance with the same name. And this is one that, I have this for reference. I have this for training. I'm training my nose. It is what it sounds like. It's dark, dirty, earthy, borderline skanky oud. I want to get more into it. I want to try to get more of the facets that are in this. I know there's other facets in there. I'm kind of being blocked by the initial scent profile to get to these underlying nuances, but I would like to take time to do so. This is very challenging stuff, but I'm going to continue testing it and learn more about it. So that's pure Cambodi Oud. And up finally, from the house of Kurkdjian Dior, this is from their Privé line, Ambre Nuit. I've always wanted to smell this in its original form. I never have, but man, is this beautiful. It's oriental, so it's kind of like rich and sweet and vanillic. It's spicy, and there's rose in there, and there's a slightly like dusty quality to it to my nose. This is really, really elegant stuff. I'm so happy I have this. I'm gonna hopefully get my hands on the original so I can really know if this is actually close, but it's so luxurious. So that is Ambre Nuit. Ambre Nuit. Really quickly, if you're wanting to know more about oil perfumery, they come in these little 10 ml vials. They generally come with both plastic and metal roller balls. I prefer the metal. It feels a little bit more durable and it feels like it spreads more evenly, but plastic works just fine. And they come as replacements too, the metal one. So you could literally pop out the plastic one, put in the metal one, or vice versa. And I'll have the general price range on the screen here so you can see that. And the good thing is that they do ship worldwide, which is awesome. So nothing to worry about with that. Now, the last part of this video I want to get to is a giveaway. About the first half of the fragrances that I mentioned here, I'm going to be giving away to one lucky subscriber. And that's going to be Aventus, Vetiver Geranium, Pure White Cologne, Neroli Outrenoir, Sauvage, Patchouli, as well as Joop Homme. The reason why I'm giving these away is either because I wasn't crazy about them, or I already have the original and it's just a little bit redundant for me to have the clone oil. So I'd rather pass it on to one of you. So what you got to do to enter into the giveaway, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the video, and just leave a comment about anything having to do with this video. If you don't wish to be entered in the giveaway, then you can obviously say so in your comment. Otherwise, I'll just assume that you want to be entered. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Oil Perfumery, for providing these fragrances for me. Really appreciate it. Link will be down in the description if you want to check them out. And make sure you stay tuned for hopefully my upcoming review of Soir Aromas fragrances as well. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.